Yes, sir. We are live and direct for another episode of the Eric Crocker Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, and we're talking all things training camp. Day, I don't even know what day it is now. Day six of practices. We're gonna review that, the good, the bad, the things that I feel like we should be diving into. All right, we're gonna talk some receivers. We're obviously gonna talk some quarterbacks and a certain defensive player that keeps on kind of popping up on the defensive line. I hope everybody's having a great day. Beautiful weather out here in Stockton, California, and yeah. I'm feeling good, feeling good. Got my brother over here. We're gonna see if we can get him on. He's kind of I don't want to say camera shy, but he sometimes he feel like talking, sometimes he don't. So we're gonna see if he feels like talking, so he can give y'all the non-biased perspective on everything that he saw from 49ers practice today. What I want y'all to do right now, man, go to Underdog Fantasy, underdogfantasy.com, and download the app, whatever you got to do. And when you sign up, use promo code Crocky, and when you do that, they'll let you deposit. They'll let you double your deposit up to $100. All right. Again, if you're new to this show, make sure you hit that subscribe button and
like and subscribe this video.
there we go. Look, I got both my girls on here now, both of them. All right. Appreciate everybody that's in here. My guy Ravi says, "Where you at? Practicing already back to Stockton?" Yeah, man. It really don't take long to get from San Jose to Stockton. I say, as long as you beat the traffic, which as soon as practice ends, I dip up out of there so I don't get caught up in the traffic. And it takes me a good little hour 15 minutes, like nothing too crazy. So, I make it in pretty good time. I can't wait to talk about the quarterbacks with y'all. And I have a different angle on some of the things I'm seeing from this. And it's not like a biased thing, but I just see like, oh, what quarterback practice the best? What quarterback? Ultimately, one thing I'm seeing, there's not a whole lot of separation from the quarterbacks. So if you like something very specific, then you might lean one quarterback over the other. But for the most part, they're all really like close. And I don't know if anybody is truly separating themselves. And now I say that there's been a couple practices that I have not been at. So maybe in that practice, that might be the difference maker for some people. But ultimately, from what I've seen, not a whole lot of separation. I will talk about one thing with the quarterbacks that I'm a little disappointed to see from one of them. Disappointed might not be the word to use. All right, we're going to talk about that. Real quick, let's talk about some other things real quick. Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk continues to be a menace. I mean, it's just, they can't guard him. Nobody can guard him. I'm sitting there with my bro. And again, I always talk about my bro. And my bro says, man, Brandon Ayuk, that's y'all receiver one. And I tell y'all all the time, like, he is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He is not a San Francisco 49ers fan. So let me turn my mic up. He is not a San Francisco 49er fan. So anything that he says, he's just talking about what he's seeing. And he's like, Brandon Ayuk's the best receiver out there. Like, and it's not just like he's the best receiver. I think a lot of people are like, oh, he's the best. Like, he is your true number one receiver. Now, there was no George Kittle today at practice. There was no Trent Williams. There was no Christian McCaffrey. So maybe that helps him get the targets that he got. But he worked all over the field today. Short routes, slant routes, stop routes, deep over routes. Purdy hit him a ton of times. Trey Lance hit him on a kind of a stop, little intermediate. He had a nice catch and run on the throw from Brock Purdy. So overall, I mean, he looked like a guy who is just keep getting him the ball. Keep getting him the ball. He's killing it. He's killing it. I just hope they utilize him the same way during the actual season. Because I just have this feeling, and again, you see the 49ers and all the mouths they have to feed, and Debo is going to get the rock. And one thing they do with Debo Samuel right now, I feel like Debo is kind of the get back on track guy. All right, so get back on track. Typically, there's a get back on track down. All right, so you come out first down, right? First down, you throw the ball, it's incomplete. They call a second down at that point. We're talking about second and 10. That's a get back on track down. So typically what you're going to do is probably run the ball to pick up a few yards, get something going, get back on track, and then, drop your 3rd and 5 play, ideally, right? In the situation for, 3rd and manageable. Debo seems to be the get back on track guy. So anytime you see a quarterback kind of throw and maybe he misses, or even if it's like a short completion, what do they like to do? Come back Debo Samuel on the screen. So you'll see Debo catch a screen route, and he's going to kind of get busy. He actually looks pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. Looks explosive, looks fast, but he's more the get back on track down guy. And Ayuk has been more of the we are going to put an emphasis on getting the ball in Ayuk's hands. At least that's what it looks like right now. And again, he's working all levels, all areas, and it's been really fun to watch. I did say Ayuk caught one ball from Trey Lance, and I hope I'm not mistaken because obviously, Trey Lance, he's going with the twos. Ayuk and Conley, they kind of look similar. So I'm looking just really quick, and I'm out a distance. If I'm looking just real quick, I could think that Conley was Brandon Ayuk. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on. But overall, it's been fun watching the receivers. I did see a Ronnie Bell sighting today. Nothing too crazy. I saw Danny Gray sighting today. Nothing too crazy. But Bell is the one that you kind of keep seeing get the ball. And I wonder, like, guys that are fighting for that last spot. Let's go over the receiver group real quick in general. All right, wide receiver 1. That's Brandon Ayuk right now. At least through camp, they can't guard him. I feel like every camp they can't guard him, but this year it's even more apparent. All right, Debo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, Ray McLeod, and Ray McLeod, he's been pretty active as well. And then you probably have 2 more spots. And I would say in those 2 more spots, potentially Ronnie Bell, potentially Conley, potentially Danny Gray. But all 3 of those guys aren't going to make it. So Danny Gray did a good job. I see Tab in the chat, and he says Danny Gray had 2 catches today. Yep. I want to say both Trey Lance and Sam Darnold hit him, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and kind of look over my notes. I was kind of noting it on Twitter. I did do a cool little thing. If you do follow me on Twitter at Eric_Crocker, I did like a thread. So each thread goes through when that quarterback was up, I noted kind of every throw. So I didn't give stats, but I did hear about the stats afterwards. But I did mark if he completed or if he incompleted, to who, what was it, and all that. So if y'all want me to go over those individually, I will. But overall, I'll give you just kind of my analysis on the quarterbacks. And one thing that keeps kind of popping up, in my opinion, where I'm just like, all right, let's get that going. Another standout. All right, we'll stay on the offensive side of the ball real quick. The running backs. I thought between Jordan Mason and Ty Davis Price, thought they looked pretty good today. Jordan Mason caught the ball very well. Ty Davis Price, he did his thing. I think that looked good. You see Ty Davis Price on those short yardage situations. They did like a 3rd and 2, and you just see Ty Davis Price kind of barreling in there, pushing the pile. That looked good. So overall, solid there. With both running backs, my watch is trying to talk to me. All right, with both running backs, I would say A-Watt had a nice run in there, and he's kind of a thicker built, wider guy. We got to get kind of up close with him when he did the rookie hype machine. He was that guy today, and I was just like, man, that's a thick guy, just the way he's kind of built. But looked light on his feet, looked powerful. I thought all the running backs ran the ball well today. Again, Christian McCaffrey was not at practice today, so or wasn't out there. And Elijah Mitchell either. I don't recall seeing Elijah Mitchell at all. So Jordan Mason, Ty Davis Price, A-Watt, all look good. I'd say if I had to rank them all, probably Jordan Mason, then Ty Davis Price. But ultimately, I think both guys really had a legit practice. Let's go over one more guy that really kind of like flashed to me. And I say flash, but I only really paid attention on 2 plays. And it was Drake Jackson. From where we're sitting in the stands is kind of your vantage point of the defensive line, offensive line. It's kind of hard to tell. But I just looked at, let me watch 95 on this play. And he beat the guy off the edge, beat the guy right around the corner, whoever the left tackle was. I'm assuming there's more if it's not Trent Williams out there. Just beat Moore right across to the quarterback. And I was like, look good. And then one other time I looked, and he won that rep as well. So Drake Jackson right now, he's really doing well. Eli is injured. Oh gosh, I feel like he's always kind of banged up a little bit. All right, so that's gonna be his kind of downfall, if anything. That's tough. Hope he gets over that or whatever it is. All right, but yeah, so we touched on a little bit here. Touched on the Ayuk, continues to be just a super standout guy. Wide receiver 1. They're putting to me, it feels like more of an emphasis on just we're going to Ayuk. All right, we're going to Ayuk. They're throwing the ball to Ayuk. He's doing very well. Debo Samuel seems to be the get back on track guy offensively, where it's like, all right, let's go ahead and throw a screen at Debo. Okay, maybe we hit him with a crosser or something like that, but he's definitely not getting the influx in targets as Brandon Ayuk is. Then I went to the defense side of the ball. Drake Jackson, I think he's doing very well. Ronnie Bell and Danny Gray, they made some appearances today in the running backs. I think they're standing out. Then Drake Jackson, of course. Then Drake Jackson. All right. Here we go. My guy Mosquito Killy said, "What up, Croc? Caught you on 95.7 the game. Thank you. Thank you. Hope I did good." Actually, as I pulled up and parked at the stadium, somebody said, "Hey, Croc, heard you on the radio. Great job. Appreciate you. Appreciate you." I'll start going through some of these before I get to the quarterback. I know y'all want, we're going to talk about the quarterbacks and some of the things I'm seeing from there. All right. What is the reason Kyle talks up all the QBs besides Trey? I don't know. Now, I don't really listen to the what you call this, the press conferences. So if he's not talking up Trey in the press conference, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll listen today and see kind of what he's saying. Here is the one thing, and I'll give my analysis on the quarterbacks, but it may not align with what Kyle and maybe the Greasy or whoever with what they're seeing. All right, and what I mean by that is, last year I remember watching training camp and not thinking anything of Brock Purdy. All right, wasn't really paying attention to him. All right, want to make sure I preface that. Wasn't like, oh man, this rookie, he's out here killing it. I wasn't really paying attention like that, but I was looking at Trey Lance, what it looked like. I was looking at Nate Sudfeld and what it looked like. And I'm like, man, like I was impressed with Nate Sudfeld and just what it looked like with him throwing the rock. And then they cut Nate Sudfeld for Brock Purdy. So clearly they are taking into account certain things that Eric Crocker is not. All right, now we'll make that very clear. But I do watch and I do see certain things where I know, like now, I'm trying to change the way I'm viewing the quarterbacks on what Kyle likes or what he doesn't like. I'm trying to get a grasp on that. Now, there's that version of me, and then there's the version of me that is like, I'm no idiot. Like, I grew up like a lot of y'all watching football. I've been around football. I didn't seen it. I've been around good quarterbacks. I've been around sucky quarterbacks. So there are certain things that, like, there's a certain level that I understand it to a certain extent. Again, maybe not to the extent of Kyle and what he's specifically looking for, but as far as like good, bad, what to kind of predict, things that may come to light, like I understand that part. All right. So let's get going with it. The quarterbacks. I started off by saying that I don't think that any quarterback here has truly like really separated themselves in one way or another. Brock Purdy gets the most volume, so I think there's the more opportunity typically for him to just have another opportunity to make a throw. All right, to make a throw. Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, who are splitting reps, and actually today, Brendan Allen didn't get any reps, so it really was just kind of the Trey and Sam Darnold show after Brock Purdy. But as far as throws, all right, we'll start with Brock Purdy, and I'm trying to look at your guys' comments in the chat. Hope everybody's doing good. All right, but I'm trying to look at your comments in the chat and then talk. But I'm going to try to block y'all out for just a second. Brock Purdy. I have seen some reports about how, and there's some people that believe, man, he's been the best quarterback. He's consistently been the best quarterback on the field. I just opened up Twitter. I saw that from a beat writer. And again, everybody's going to have their opinions and their views on it, and maybe they view it the same way Kyle does. The thing that I've been disappointed with Brock Purdy on, and we'll see if he fixes this, is not so much what he can or can't do. I think there are going to be people that talk about limited arm. That's not that big of a deal to me, to be honest. There's going to be people that talk about, oh, we can't do this and he's not the fastest, whatever. I don't care about that either. The biggest thing that I've noticed with him, and even more so than the other quarterbacks, the missed opportunities. I have seen now several times, and a few times I've watched him practice, where he just misses opportunities for big explosive plays or big chunk plays. Now he hits them And I saw him hit some of those today. Hit a deep crosser. I should look at my notes on him, and maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll read through my thread that I did for each quarterback. All right. So let me go through. There's M. Darnold and Brock Purdy. All right, here we go. And we'll go through throw for throw. Then I'll kind of talk about some of the things that I'm kind of a little disappointed in. All right. First throw of team, and this was like a run play action segment that they were doing here. Overthrows Deebo Samuel on a deep crosser. Deebo was open by a few yards. To me, like that's a big opportunity. And at first, it's like, well, it's not that alarming that you missed him on that. But I know first throw, whatever, not gonna make too big of a stink about it. But big opportunity for a chunk play, and you missed it. It's not to say he hasn't made it. He also made a nice throw over the middle today, but he missed that one. All right. And then here we go. Starts to heat up a little bit. Purdy, nice completion to Brandon Ayuk in that over the middle sweet spot. All right. Followed up by a screen to Jordan Mason. All right. Then Purdy comes back to Brandon Ayuk on a slant route. Maybe Ayuk will be heavily targeted this season. Nice connection between him and Purdy, followed up by a big gain to Deebo Samuel coming across the field. So boom, right there, he made up for that miss. All right. Now again, I still look at that first miss as a big opportunity because that itself could have been a 20-yard chunk play. But whatever, you missed it. It's all about how you bounce back, and I thought he bounced back extremely well. All right. And then he hits Purdy hits Dwelly in the flat for no gain. That right there was on a 3rd and 2 situation. He rolled out, he booted out to his left. You only need 2 yards. He threw it to Dwelly. That probably was his first read, got the ball to him, and it was just for a no gain. All right. And then Purdy missed Brandon Ayuk on a bang 8, aka skinny post. All right. Now, I'm talking about bang 8, miss, the Deebo Samuel, missed. To me, those are missed opportunities. Deebo on the crosser, that could have been 20-yard gain. The bang 8, there's a chance, Ayuk catches that. Does he take it to the crib? Because there was nobody else in the hole there. All right. So, again, those are just, to me, like missed opportunities that you would like your starting quarterback to just be consistent at hitting those. All right. And then he came back. Purdy hits Jordan Mason on a quick flat route to the sideline. Mason probably picked up about 5-6 yards. All right. Then he completes a slant to guess who? Brandon Ayuk. And then Purdy has, and this was the last throw, Purdy has Deebo Samuel open downfield on a go route. He underthrew Deebo Samuel. The ball fell incomplete. Now, some people say that the pass got broken up. Some people say that Deebo just dropped it. Either way, there shouldn't have been an opportunity for the quarterback to break it up because Deebo beat Samuel Womack on a go route by 4 or 5 yards. So you go back the other day, right, where I'm talking about Brandon Ayuk, open downfield go route, beats the defender by like 5 yards, ball severely underthrown to the point where Ayuk has to come to a stop. And because the cornerback, who is beat so bad, he's in chase mode, he runs into the receiver, they call PI. It should have been a walk-in touchdown. Today, he misses Deebo on the deep crosser, missed opportunity. Misses Brandon Ayuk on the bang 8, missed opportunity. And then underthrows Deebo Samuel on the go route. Those were his only 3 misses of the day. Definitely want to say that. But to me, those were all missed opportunities. The one thing he did do good today was he kept the ball out of harm's way. He did not throw any turnover-worthy throws, which has been something else he has done consistently in other practices. He has thrown the most interceptions in practice so far with 2, and guys have also gotten their hands on a lot of his passes. So if you're going to miss on opportunities, you have to take care of the ball. And that has been something that has popped up where it's like, it is a little iffy. So that's your QB1. I would like him to be a little cleaner on those things. That's not to say he hasn't had good throws, but when people say, he's just by far, he's just been the best. I would say he probably would be the best if he connected on those. But when you miss those, to me, I don't know how you could say he's just been flat out better than the others, aside from just having more throws than the other guys. All right. So that's just kind of my opinion on him. I don't want to come off as if I'm killing Brock Purdy. I think he's doing well. We are talking about a guy who is coming off of an elbow injury, and that's tough. But just in the sense of like what it looks like, my brother explained it as like, man, it looks like he's trying really hard. Like everything he does is like, he's trying really hard, feet moving really fast. Okay, got to really muscle this ball out there. in comparison to the other quarterbacks, which is understandable because he was 7th round pick. The other guys were number 3 overall pick. So there's a different level of talent there from a natural ability. And right now, what gives me the most comfort with Brock Purdy is that I feel like Brock is a gamer. Now, if you ask my brother, he's sitting over on the couch. That's why I'm looking at him. If you ask my bro, he'll tell you he doesn't like that. He doesn't like the term of saying somebody's a gamer because that is you saying, how'd you explain it? It's like you don't say that about the best quarterbacks in the league. Like nobody, when you're talking about the Aaron Rodgers, the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrow, like never have you ever heard somebody describe them by saying, "Oh man, they're just a gamer. They're a gamer," right? So right now, the thing that I think we're hanging our hats on the most with Brock Purdy is he's a gamer. And I was in this space, and somebody had said, "Oh, my guy Hannibal, shout out to him. Does a lot of good stuff. He's a comedian. He was like, oh, Brock, he said, man, he plays with a lot of poise. Plays with a lot of poise." And my bro was like, poise isn't quite the word I would use. It's not really poise. How'd you explain it? Just kind of makes him like. Well, you say he kind of. Again, my brother, he's a Steeler fan. He said he feels like he's somebody that just kind of runs around like a kid in the backyard, and then he just kind of make plays. And I think it kind of looked like that because he's kind of smaller. But again, I'm not like somebody that's like, oh, I'm out on Brock or anything he's done. But to me, you have to that you have opportunities there. So just make the plays that are there. Like the other stuff is there. The over route, you know what I'm saying? He hit Debo, he hit Ayuk, he has hit some of those, but then also there's some that he missed. You ready to kind of explain what you're saying? All right, here we go. Here's the camera right here. My bro's pulling up. Here we go. And then a lot of people asked about you too. They said they wanted you back on. So here you go.
I would just say describing Brock Purdy, when somebody would say poise, let me do a good job of trying to like not attacking him. So the best way to describe it is just a guy who has no pressure and playing confidently, right? Or just not being scared. So not being scared doesn't necessarily mean have the most poise. Like I would say Tom Brady has poise. I would say Peyton Manning has poise. Like I would say the elite top tier quarterbacks have poise. But to say Brock Purdy has poise because he's standing there and taking a hit while he's making a throw,
he's just showing toughness.
Yeah, I would just say he's just not scared. Like I feel like he had nothing. He was playing with house money. He has nothing to lose. Like if you go back and watch his college film and break it down, a lot of times the reason why games were so up and down is because he would make great throws or scramble around and make a hell of a play. Then he'd come back and do the polar opposite. He would come back and throw miss a wide open guy or turn the ball over or run around in like just play backyard football. And I think Brock Purdy is who he is, right? Like I think the reason why you guys drafted him so low is because he didn't do nothing exceptionally well, or else you guys would have took him in the first round. And he doesn't have first round talent, but you guys are banking on that. Oh, well, he doesn't practice well, but the 8 games he's shown us
there's a lot of people that say that there's a lot of the beat writers saying he's having the best practices.
Well,
but so what you like? Just give your opinion on what you saw.
Like the practice I've seen.
Yeah.
Like just him.
Just watching him today.
We're talking about him.
Yeah, just Brock Purdy.
Yeah, so I mean, like in practice, what I've seen is what I think of him or what he's produced for me. Like nothing's easy for him. Everything is just kind of like he's got to do times 10 compared to Sam Darnold and Trey. Like it just looks like it's a lot for him to try to like get everything done. And I don't want to see that from my quarterback. That's it. Like I want it to look kind of like going like I'm fluid. I'm going through the motions. My reads and my progressions are kind of easy. Like I don't want it to feel like, oh, well, I know I'm thinking in the back of my head, oh, I got to make this throw. And I'm gotta rip this ball. Like I don't want it to look like that. I don't want it to feel like that, especially if I have Lance and Darnold. So
okay. So now let me ask you this question. You can answer. you talked about kind of how it looks like he has to really work really hard. Who looks like it's coming kind of the easiest out of all the quarterbacks you've watched in practice so far?
I mean, like everybody doesn't like this answer, but I would say Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold looks the most comfortable. He looks the most confident. He looks the most fluid, and he looks the most polished, like the dude said. Like he just clean. Like he just looks like this is his moment. Like if I had to bet on anything, like bet on a quarterback, I would bet on Sam Darnold this year. Right situation, great surrounding supporting cast, great play caller, great organization. Like I would just say, like all the stars in the line for him. Like if he's gonna be the guy they thought they were gonna draft, like when he was coming out of USC, I would say this is the moment. I would say like if y'all are gonna win Super Bowl, I told Croc like Sam Darnold's gonna get you guys there. Sam Darnold is gonna win it for you guys because he has the ability to make those special plays. Like somebody had asked earlier on the spaces, like can a Brock Purdy beat a Patrick Mahomes? And we talk about this all the time. Is like the reason why you guys are not Super Bowl contenders, I don't think in my eyes, is because you guys don't have a special talent at quarterback. Yeah, you can get there. Yeah, you can try to, show up. But it's like, can you win with that? No. Jimmy showed you guys that you guys can't do that with an above average quarterback, right? It takes a special performance from a quarterback when the tight games. Can you go win us the game? And Brock can't do that for you guys. So I believe Sam Darnold has the talent, has the makeup, and I'm just saying he's poised. This is his moment. That's all I would say. Like this is his moment. If it was going to,
we've seen him like we've seen what 55.
You've seen 55 games of sorry teams, bad O-line, bad organizations, no supporting cast. And you're just throwing him in the fire and high expectations, right? So he comes to the Niners. There's zero expectation. I think playing with zero expectations is underestimated. Like when you don't have no pressure and you can just be you. We seen him with Brock last year. Like you can just this is easy. You got Debo, you got Kittle, you got IU, you got CMC. Like what? And you got a top 3 defense is taking the ball away. What?
Number 1.
Oh, but I'm just saying, like, are you guys going to be back-to-back number 1 defense? It's a possibility, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to be top defense, top takeaway, average 30 points a game. That might not happen. One of those might fall off, but I'm just saying, like, Sam Darnold has, and what the pushback is, we like you said, we didn't see him play. He sees ghosts, blase, and it's just like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, but when you drafted Sam Darnold and you drafted Purdy, they're 2 different talents, and I want the guy to get to win a Super Bowl because you guys are Super Bowl ready right now. I mean, I'm playing like I'm gonna give Purdy a chance, and my expectations of Purdy playing is kind of like he's gonna have a regression. It's not gonna look the same game planning. There's more pressure. I got to think more, and I'm not gonna be able to get away with half the shit I got away with last year. So it's like, okay, well, do I insert Trey Lance? Probably not, because we're all out on Trey Lance. Like at this point, like we don't care to see what we're gonna get from him. The best thing we can do is trade him. I think that's what's gonna happen. But Sam Darnold is in positions like, okay, well, this is a veteran. It's the Geno Smith situation. I equate it to that. Like, oh, it doesn't look good all these time, but like the right situation for the right player, it can work. So that's it. Not to be long-winded, but that's it. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, hold on. So your thoughts on Trey Lance today?
So I just think overly highly on Trey because his ceiling's so high. So I see a lot out of him. So he had an okay practice. He made all the throws that I would thought he'd throw. Bad pick. And I would just say, like, with Trey, it's like he got to get the reps. Like, he hasn't seen enough. He hasn't played enough. He hasn't seen enough. So he threw a pick, probably pick 6 too. And I think he just didn't see the guy slide underneath. Like, the came. He probably was fixed on. He probably was reading something else, and then he came and threw the ball and they undercut it. But I just say, like you got to rep it, right? You got to practice. You got to be in game to get comfortable with those situations. He just hasn't played enough football, and you guys did draft him number 3 overall, and I would say, like, he needs a chance to perform. If you never get a chance, or you feel like you don't have a chance, it's like, what am I here? What am I doing? And I would say like with quarterbacks, it's building their confidence, like building their egos, their drive, so that they can play at the best version of themselves. And I don't think you guys giving him a fair chance, an equal opportunity. It wouldn't matter if he threw 7 for 7 every practice with 2 touchdowns. Like he just doesn't have a chance. So yeah, I would say today he didn't have a 10 out of 10 day, but he had a, to me still like had a great practice. Like, he threw 1 pick and they're probably going to eat him alive for that. But overall, like he made all the throws that like I would like to see out of him. I would say the person who had the worst practice today was Brock, because he just
it's crazy you say that, because other people again they're saying like, no, he was like great.
I just say like, yeah, well, like I mean, if you want to call great throwing the ball, checking the ball down, or throwing the ball inside the hashes, like okay, cool. But anytime I get outside the hashes or I got to make a deep throw ball, like when it's wide open and I miss those opportunities, it just kind of like leads me to believe he is who he is, like right, like. He can do the Jimmy G stuff for you. He can get all the little he can scramble here and there and take a throw and be a little risky or risk taker. Like, okay, because he doesn't, that's just who he is and that's how he plays. But as far as like being a guy, I would say like, oh yeah, they want to talk about in practice, like, oh, Sam Darnold and Trey Lance haven't did nothing to separate themselves. But to me, how it looks, they look way better and it looks way more fluent than Brock playing quarterback. And I'm not trying to be biased and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not trying to be none of that. Like, just to me, what it looks like. And that's all I can go off of. Like right now, at this very moment, what it looks like is he's the number 3 guy. He doesn't even look like the number 2 guy. And I mean, you guys can take that however you want to take it, but I'm just evaluating football and breaking down what I see on the field. So,
Appreciate you.
oh yeah, I didn't do this last time, so follow me on Instagram, FTG_JREED. Support me, follow me, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys having me. Here you go.
All right. So I do like to bring my bro in because you know, he is a Steeler fan. So, you know, we do talk a lot about football and we'll talk about, you know, different things, but ultimately, you know, he'll just give his opinion. And I know sometimes people in here, they're like, you know, oh, you know, you are biased, and he's like, he's literally not biased. He just watches it. Because if he was biased, I'll tell you this right now, if he was being biased, he would never say that Sam Darnold like looks like the most like just comfortable, calm. Like that's the guy he would go with. He's never in a million. Did you ever expect to say that out of your mouth before watching?
No, I never said it earlier. I was like,
Yeah.
He surprised me a lot.
Yeah, he said it surprised him a lot.
I can't believe.
So you can't say he's biased because everybody thinks that that Sam Darnold sucks, and I think he assumed that as well. And then he watched Sam Darnold, and he's like, "Wow, I am shocked that Sam Darnold looks good." Now we were not at practice. Sam Darnold just had his worst practice. Not Monday. I was there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sam Darnold had a bad practice. I wasn't there that day. He wasn't there that day. So if we would have seen that, maybe that kind of like changes the way that we view Sam Darnold. But just consistently throughout all the practices I've been to, you watch Sam Darnold and he looks calm, he looks comfortable, and he's doing well. Now, like my guy Salty Cyclist said, wait for preseason games. And that's the big one right there. Nothing we're talking about things. What have we seen at practice? Because y'all not there, right? Like a lot of y'all aren't at practice. So how do you get a beat on just kind of what's going on and what it looks like in anticipation for the preseason games? Is by listening to different people's analysis. And I hope that any of this doesn't come off as dogging any of these guys. Again, we've talked about how we don't think any of the guys have really like truly separated themselves in that way from what I've seen. And again, I talk about my biggest things and I can kind of go through with big things for each guy. With Brock, it's the big play opportunities where guys are just running wide open and he misses those throws, or the times where he's putting the ball in harm's way. Those are the things I'm down on so far from watching Brock. Aside from that, he's made some good throws. My bro talked about him over the middle, slants, deep digs. He's hitting those. It looks good. Sam Darnold looks poised. In the practices I've been at, again, I missed his ugly practice, but outside of that, I think he's been consistent. He looks poised. They did a lot of boots and getting him out on the move today. He was consistent. He's hitting all those. Look good. Even his misses today, nothing was bad. Trey Lance. I think Trey has impressed me with his ability to throw to all levels of the field. I went through all of Brock's throws, but if I went through Trey's, hold on, I'll go through Trey's right now real quick and what it looked like. All right, again, I got a thread up. Where is Trey? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, Trey Lance thread. First attempt completes deep stop route to Snead for a nice gain. It looked like Snead, maybe he could have kept going or sat it down. He settled in a good area, 15 to 20-yard gain on his first throw. All right, Trey Lance with a big gain off of play action, 15 to 20 yards. That's his next throw. Third one, Lance throws behind the receiver on a slant, incomplete. He had Willis, the tight end, the rookie tight end, and he missed him. Next play, screen to Deebo Samuel. All right, I talked about Deebo kind of being that get back on track guy. All right, after that, Trey Lance hits Ayuk on a quick slant stop. I think he just settled in the soft area. 49ers are working 3rd and 2 right now. That would have been a first down. And then the next throw, Trey Lance throws an interception on the first play of the move the ball drill. It was D Winner. So up until that point, he only had one pass that he missed on. Threw the interception. D Winners got him, drifted underneath it. It was a deep over route. Good play by the defender. Bad play by Trey Lance. I'm wondering if it was a layered throw and he didn't layer it or layered it technically right to the defender. And then he comes back. He completed a nice rollout to his left to Willis for a decent gain. And then on his last play, he booted to the right. The edge broke it up and he kind of just threw it into the ground. Couldn't get it to the guy. All right. So that was kind of Trey Lance's day. And watching it, I didn't think like, oh, this is bad. I ain't see any like crazy misses outside of, would I see him lead the guy on a slant a little bit. But the other slant to Ayuk came back and hit him. So you saw that. I ain't seen anything bad. I saw somebody like, oh, you can't make the layup throws. He's made layup throws. He also has missed layup throws. And the crazy thing is his layup throws are talked about more than the Brock Purdy throwing it right to defenders' hands, which is wild to me. All right. Got some super chats here. All right. Double B Studio. Appreciate the contribution. He says, I don't think games will decide on the QB this season. I don't think games will be decided on the QB position. Okay, I got you. Team is stacked. I feel good about Brock Purdy starting and Trey to take us over the top postseason if Brock Purdy goes down. Yeah, I mean, I'd say right now, if you look at the team and the way this is built, and they built it purposely like this. What happened? She was behind the door? My little baby crying. All right. The team is stacked. That's a crazy cry, though. She's like, ow, ow. I sound like a little kitty cat or something. All right. Gosh, okay, responding to this. I think Brock's gonna be fine, man. I think Brock's gonna be fine. I think there's a scenario where, again, he played at such a high level last year. Can you repeat that? And that's tough. That's tough. So I'm curious to see what happens there. All right, we got Tia in the chat. Appreciate the super chat, Tia. She says, Did you see Trey's old quarterback coach Quincy Avery stating that Kyle told Trey to fire him and get with John Beck when he got drafted because Beck knew Kyle's system? Yeah. And I've talked to, Quincy. Quincy's cool, man. Really cool, down to earth, straight shooter. Quincy is a straight shooter. All right. And he said, and basically this came from someone saying Trey Lance's mechanics were messed up because he worked with Quincy. And Quincy was like, nah, man, like I had him heading into his pro day. He threw the ball well. Nobody had an issue with that. But a lot of owners and front office coaches and stuff like that, they might feel more comfortable with another guy. And they told Trey right before the draft, I believe, to go with the guys at the QB3, those people. And Trey went with them. So after that, he didn't work with Lance. They've remained tight. He talked about having a great relationship with Trey Lance. Said Trey is just one of the best humans he's ever been around. Said for no reason, he'll FaceTime his daughter like 3 times a week just to talk to his daughter for like 10 to 15 minutes because she's a huge Trey Lance fan. So he talked about how cool of a guy he is. But as far as the Trey Lance, the John Beck, Quincy Avery thing, he was saying, yeah, like, that was Kyle's doing. And it was a big deal because Kyle just recently came out and said they don't really tell their quarterbacks who to train with. But before the season, he did. So, All right, good comment there by Tia. Here we go. Oh no, double B studio. Okay, here we go. I agree with your bro. Purdy is dink and dunk. Here's the thing. I don't think he's dink and dunk. Like that's not really the words I would use because he's hitting some over the middle. Like, okay, what's a dink and dunk? I think
But like primarily, what do you want your quarterback to do?
I know. Okay, look, I think that his completion percentage will be inflated by the quote unquote dink and dunks, which I think it was true for most quarterbacks.
Get the ball to people on the edge. Get the ball to McCaffrey on the edge. Like
Yeah,
quick, get the ball out quick to them. Like I
yeah.
need to get the ball quick to them. But like it's not necessarily.
But he is hitting that deep over route in the middle of the field too, though.
Yeah, but that's not. We don't. We're not.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I think ultimately what my bro is saying is this offense has not been a vertically pushing offense with really Brock or Jimmy. And in the time so far in training camp, when we have seen Brock try to push the ball down the field, he has not connected. And not just he has not connected, because look, the D ball is the lowest percentage pass a quarterback can attempt. I'm going to repeat that. The D ball is the lowest percentage ball that a quarterback can attempt. So, and typically that's because, man, it's down the field. A lot of time for the DB to adjust, knock the ball away, whatever. You got to be more, but you also have more room for error. His guys have been wide open. And that's the part where, yes, it's a lower percentage ball, but not when your guy is beating the DB by 4 or 5 yards. Like now, those you got to hit. You got to hit that. And that's where he has missed. So if he's being labeled a dink and dunk quarterback, and we could say, Kyle Shanahan, his offense. No, like he's throwing the ball down the field. I done seen him throw down the field outside the numbers 4 times so far in camp, and each one has been incomplete and underthrown. So like that's more the issue. Like, bro, you just have to connect on these. And that's what I talk about with the missed opportunities. Now, one of those, Deebo Samuel was strapped. He had no separation, but he still was kind of it was underthrown to where he still had to kind of slow down. So he got to get the ball out there. He does have to get the ball out there. So again, this offense typically has not been a vertically pushing offense, but I have seen those opportunities, at least from him. Now big ups to him because I have not seen Trey throw that go route. I haven't seen Sam Darnold throw the go route. All right. Did we see that? We got a wheel route. Oh, we got a wheel route. We got a wheel route by Trey Lance. Okay. And there was one too. Day one, Trey Lance hit a bigger ball down there. Then we did see Trey hit the seam, but I'm talking about just outside, just straight go route. Like we've only seen Brock attempt those. Which when people think about Trey Lance and even Sam Darnold, like, oh man, they got these big arms, which that's what it looks like too when they throw the ball. Like, oh, you're expecting these like big go routes, and we haven't seen that. Now, as it pertains to this, right? Average over 30 points game, call it what you want. Now, this is me just talking from like, I'm just trying to be straight up, Tab, because I know I can see kind of where you're heading at. Because he was mad at you for what you had said, and then now, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I can get a feel for the people in the comments. No, it is. Can he continue it? So look, if he continues that, then great. But I would say that more times than not, you start to kind of come back down to earth a little bit. Can he average 33 points a game? I mean, you don't see. Well, what did Patrick Mahomes average? What did that offense average? I would have to look at what the Chiefs average per game, but most people aren't averaging that, even the best of the quarterbacks. So can he do it again? Like I would have to say it might even out a little bit more. And even if he's averaging 28 a game, 27, like that's still legit. That's still really good. That's still a lot more than what we saw from Lance or even I think Jimmy in his best year was around 27, 28. All right, so my bro just asked a question. He said, would I say that the defense Pickle, really? My bro just asked, would I say that the defense had a big hand in the points per game? All right. I think a lot of it is Brock Purdy did a good job moving the sticks, and he took advantage of a lot of opportunities out there. So I don't want to take anything away from Brock Purdy. And it's crazy. I see the people in the chat. It's like I just now I just know, right? Like I see where's it at? I know people complaining, but hopefully Purdy can hit those big plays. Yeah, like you gotta hope, right? No, and it's there. But let's say he doesn't hit those big plays like that. We watched him win last year with that not being the staple of why the 49ers averaged 33 points a game with Brock Purdy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, we want to see the big explosive plays. We watch the Josh Allen, we watch the Mahomes, and they stretching the field, they doing all this. And okay, that's how they won. Great. The 49ers scored a lot without that being like, oh, prime Big Ben when y'all throwing 10 go routes a game to Antonio Brown, right? Like that's just not how the 49ers did it. All right. Now, and to that comment, dang, I just took it down. I don't know why I took it down. Let me get back to it. 33 points a game, literally all that matters. I don't care. It's still on floor discussion. Show me results, and Purdy has it. All right, great job, Arthur. He did that in like all caps, so I know he meant that. All right, great. All right, so let's talk about it. Right, like I was there at the 49ers versus Commanders game, and in the first half, the 49ers had 7 points. And they got the 7 points off of a 75-yard end around by Ray McLeod. It's just you hand it off to him, he takes it 75 yards, you score a touchdown, right? Now you got 7 points. That's awesome. Now look, 49ers scored like 37 points this game. At halftime, they only had like 7. Okay. Now, second half, you had George Kittle. He's wide open on the out route. He catches it, and all of a sudden he just and he goes and he takes it like 40 yards to the crib. And then Brock threw a big ball down the field. I talked about those missed opportunities or not missing them, right? He didn't miss that one. It was George Kittle and Ray McLeod were so wide open that they were both fighting for the ball in the end zone. And then you hit Brandon Ayuk on like a 10-yard out, and he takes it 60. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now when we talk about the defense, right? The defense getting stopped 3 times in that game, or maybe 4. The 49ers got stops or a takeaway and got the ball in their own territory. That's setting them up for scores. So there is a way that they're scoring. And again, I don't want to take it away from him. He just has to count on like those things. And when you're talking about the other guys that are scoring points like that, when you're talking about the Mahomes and the Josh, and I don't want to put that on him. I don't want to compare him to the elite quarterbacks. But I'm just saying when you look at how they're scoring, all right, how they're scoring that, and then you look at how the 49ers scored, I would say that there is a difference in how they did it. And you have to again rely on everybody doing that again. And you have to rely on the defense being number one again. And you have to rely on the defense taking the ball away more than any other team when Brock Purdy was a starter. Like, again, you have to rely on those things. Now, let's say you can't rely on those things. Then what does it look like? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I think that's what we will find out this year. So that's not talking down on Brock. That's just like I call it being realistic. Others might call it being a hater. But just trying to figure out, like, okay, and if he proves to continue to just be that guy, then amazing. And you probably got a franchise quarterback.
But even if he does, right? It's like it's hard for you guys to repeat that the performance. Like when the NFL team be number one,
Right.
Like top 3 offense, top 3. You know what I mean? It's just hard. It's just hard to do. So.
Right.
It's not all on him.
Yeah, it ain't all on him. So 49ers have a good team. It don't gotta be all on him. Double B Studio says, tell your bro that Brandon Ayuk is coming for his CBs. So for those of you who've been in the chat, my bro, he's a diehard Steeler fan. So yeah, he knows. He's not expecting. So what his thing is.
Ayuk is wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's saying Ayuk is wide receiver 1.
And yeah, like I think you guys are gonna win. So
yeah, he thinks the 49ers are gonna beat Pittsburgh. So. And that's tough because, like, I look at it the opposite way when I look at week 1. I think that I just have like way more respect for your head coach and who he is, Mike Tomlin, how he has his guys ready. Having to play week 1, travel to Pittsburgh, terrible towels, everybody going, TJ Watt on the other side. I think that's tough. I think that's tough. Yeah. Yeah, but 49ers are the better team. We just got to play better that on the road. Again, all things considered. My guy, these cats say, get your bro a mic. I'm gonna get. I actually have another mic is upstairs. I will. I don't have the connection. I'm gonna get another one of these. So then, when he is here and we going live and he just wants to talk about it, and y'all might want to hear a different perspective, we'll bring him on. And I'll have him on at the same time as myself. Somebody said, "Yo, bro, yelling from across the room." Here we go. Ronald Keys. He said, easy way to disprove this. You need an elite special QB to win the Super Bowl. Out of 56 Super Bowls, which is 112 quarterbacks that play in them, only 13 QBs won more than one Super Bowl. Yep. I'd say that's a good one. Now, there is one quarterback. He and I were talking about this earlier. There's one quarterback that has 2 Super Bowls, and I think he sucked, and he's going to make the Hall of Fame because of that. But I know, yeah, Eli Manning. That's crazy. Double B Studio says, my brother-in-law is a Steeler fan too. I know, it's like crazy. Like, where are these Steeler fans coming from? We from Cali. Shock some of y'all to hear a fan be unbiased, huh? You know, hey, look, I just try to talk about it, and I'm a fan. I am a fan of the 49ers. Die hard, right? I was on the New York Jets with a 49er phone case on my phone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a diehard 49er fan. But I don't think y'all listen to me to be biased or tell y'all what y'all want to hear. I think some people want that. But if that is what you're looking for, I'm probably not going to give you that. I'm going to give you like the football fan perspective from me and, you know, my experiences. And before anything, I'm a football fan before anything else. Before the 49ers, before anything, I love football. In a couple hours, you got the Browns and the Jets about to play on the Hall of Fame game. I will be watching every snap of that game. All right. So I love football before anything. And I think that allows me to kind of, you know, take a step back and talk about what I'm seeing from the 49ers and try to give you that opinion. But then on game day, I'm just the biggest fan of as anyone else. All right, man. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat today, man. Good stuff. I hope y'all took something from all of that. A lot still going on at the 49er quarterback position, but it's Brock Purdy's job, and I don't see him losing it. But I'm curious to see how everything plays out. All quarterbacks, man, they look good in camp. They're doing cool. Take advantage of the opportunities. Make sure you guys
subscribe to this video.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody, man. Hope y'all have a great day, blessed day, and I'll see y'all. Should be at the practice tomorrow, and I'll come live again. Peace.